Aloha ohana. My name is Joshua Hathaway. We are the Human Thrive Project fam, and we're thriving today on day 6 of our master cleanse. It's a 10-day program protocol. I'm only on day 2. My body said 6 days this time around. Some people are doing 4 days, but all of us are in the cleanse right now. And I wanted to make a jug of the juice to show you how simple and easy it is to do and how pleasurable it is to drink. I call this stuff liquid sunlight, and you'll see why. So for one mason jar full of the nectar of the gods, liquid sunlight, we start with 1.5 lemons, squoze with love. Oh, look at a lemon. Lemon is just like sunlight growing off of a tree. Look at that. It's so beautiful. So, excuse me. So I'm over here squeezing my lemons and getting all the juice out with my hands. Personally, I like to feel it. I like to feel and squeeze the lemon. You can use one of those little gougers or mashers or whatever, but that's not my way. And we use 1.5 per 30 ounces per liter, not per 24 ounces. FYI, this whole recipe is for 30 ounces of juice. And this morning we had our salt flush, day 6 salt flush. We do 3 of those on the cleanse. I recommend 3 of them. People can do them every day if they really want to. People cannot do them at all. But I find that 3 during the course of the cleanse is really good. It's not overwhelming for my liver to be pumping all that salt every day. But it's crazy to drink 24 ounces of liquid and have it pretty much wash through your body and spray out the other end. And it's very refreshing, ultimately. Although it's mildly uncomfortable as it's making its way through, I must admit. And we got a small group this time, but I'm really proud of my cleansers. Everybody's managing to stay in the process. People are on different schedules, so a lot of people are just watching the dojo sessions, our morning practice sessions, when they have a chance to watch them. But today we had a beautiful session working with what it is that we're releasing. Like, what is it that's not going to make it through the eye of the needle with us? You know, what is it that is not coming with us into our greater yet to be? What physical habits, what postural habits, what emotional identifications and habits are not going to make it with us to the other side, are not aligned with heaven on earth, are not aligned with our highest and most beautiful incarnation. Asking ourselves, what is it? What thought patterns? What personal stories and beliefs? So the next thing we need in our liquid sunlight is 1/3 of a cup of maple syrup if you're going whole hog. Some people, this is 1/3 of a cup is equivalent to 6 tablespoons. So I am a big guy who burns hot. So it works for me to go all 6 tablespoons. Some people are smaller. Some people don't burn as hot in their system. So they want to back off a little bit and maybe have 4 tablespoons of maple syrup in their 30 ounces of liquid sunlight. Next thing that's traditional to the recipe, different, I use a slightly adapted, I would call it enhanced recipe. Yes, I lick knives. You could have guessed that though. So next thing we need is the cayenne pepper. So the lemons are in there to change the pH, to help to with the malic acid. As we take in all this malic acid, it softens the bile ducts in our liver and gallbladder. Okay, the maple syrup is there as a source of a little bit of mineral content and some fast burning calories to help us to not be overwhelmed. Anybody who's tried water fasting will attest to just how hard it is, how heavy we feel. With the maple syrup, we stay in ketosis because we're not eating any other calories and we're not digesting anything fibrous in our system. but we are having the energy that we need to move through our life. And then the cayenne pepper, this helps to suppress the appetite. Oh, helps to suppress the appetite. And it also helps to make really spicy poops. Ooh, tingles. No, but it suppresses appetite, and it also helps with digestion, increases metabolism. So your system is working harder. It's also antibacterial and antifungal. It's doing all kinds of good stuff in there. So I just strained what I juiced through my little strainer. Now here's where it gets interesting. So we've got the lemons, the maple, and the cayenne, which is the traditional recipe from William Burroughs, and a recipe that I have done dozens of times. Over the years, I have also added a few ingredients to this, which help it to balance out a little bit and to reduce inflammation. The first one is oner, turmeric. That's right. We get this beautiful root, which is really wonderful for decreasing inflammation in the body. The Hawaiians really love and venerate this root. They call it olena. You put it in your ho'okupu, you put it in your prayer offering. There are some lomi practitioners, some practitioners of the Hawaiian arts of healing that will not work on somebody's body unless they've spent 3 days drinking some olena and some ava or kava kava. And only after that, only after their body's like readied through some deeper cleansing, some soul cleansing, some astral body cleansing, that we will physically put our hands on someone. So, we got the turmeric and the pepper. Next ingredient. This was a life changer. This is a game changer. MCT oil. Put a little MCT oil, just a teaspoon of it, into every jug of juice. MCT oil, medium chain triglyceride coconut oil. This stuff is amazing. Have it in your diet. It's really good for helping to move things through your system. If you drink too much of it, I promise you will shart. So be careful. Start with just a teaspoon of it first time. You can build your way up to a tablespoon of it a day. On the cleanse, we do more. We put it in here, not only to increase metabolism, but it's also really good for the brain. It helps to provide myelination on the sheaths of the nervous system so that our nervous system doesn't get frayed from our fasting. So we tend to have less brain fog. We're more clear and grounded. But the MCT, the medium chain triglyceride, it bypasses the liver. So we're not adding any load to the liver. It's a really easily absorbable. And the last thing that we put in here is a little bit of milk thistle, because we're building our way up to a liver gallbladder flush that's coming next week. I put 1 dropper full, preferably in glycerin, not in alcohol. Preferably not in alcohol. And so we work with the milk thistle because it also helps to cleanse the liver and fortify the liver. Because in 6 days, we're going to be going through a series of liver and gallbladder flush protocols, which we're going to drink some magnesium salts and put some castor oil packs on our bodies and drink this crazy alchemical solution. And then we're going to wake up in the morning, drink some more salts, and then do a coffee enema. And the coffee, when you get it all the way around into your ascending colon, it's like a siren song. It calls out to all of the crystals that have accumulated in your liver and gallbladder that have slid through because you've opened the bile ducts through all of the malic acid that you're drinking. And then they call it across the barrier into the colon. And then the colon, it goes straight into the colon. And then when you flush it out, when you release the coffee, not only do you feel blissful, you just feel absolutely blissful, But you see these little green men, I call them, the aliens come out of you, and embedded inside of each of these little foamy things, there's a crystal that you can crush. And yes, I pluck them right out of the toilet with my fingers, not afraid at all. I can wash my hands anytime. And this is coming out of the cleanest fucking gut that any of us will ever have. So they have these crystals in them, and these crystals are what accumulate and eventually become liver stones. They're the accumulation of our resentments, of our anger with ourselves and each other, the unforgiven. And so a big part of this cleanse and this flush part is about really identifying the people, the situations, and the actions that you have done, especially over the course of your life, that you're ready to forgive, that you're ready to release the burden of. And then we release that physically, and through our somatics, we release that emotionally, through our voice, through our prayers, through our movement, by cohering the physical body and getting the spine involved in our metabolism, by feeling into all these places we feel stuck, all the stuff we've been carrying around in our bodies and our hearts and our minds, feeling it, addressing it, expressing it, and then moving through it and coming up with a vision, a dream for our most beautiful yet to be, for the most beautiful version of me, for the most beautiful version of love in my life, for the most beautiful version of my deepest and most artistic and creative and sacred purpose, to pour forth into the world as prosperity for others in a way that draws prosperity to me, that we may thrive together, right? Dreaming my most beautiful home, my sanctuary, my place, my most sacred place. Dreaming into my most beautiful family. Oh, what is it? We're crystallizing a vision of who we are stepping into. How does that version of me feel on a daily basis? How does that version of me move through life? How does that version of me meet adversity? Because heaven on earth is not without adversity, fam. Adversity is the stuff of growth. And heaven on earth is where we grow and grow and grow in an infinite direction. There's no limit to our growth capacity. But we must learn how to meet every challenge, every shitty thing, every asshole on the road with love and with an absolute commitment to drinking the gold, to transmuting whatever I don't like about this into my own healing and growth, and something beautiful and healing for all of us in the process. That's transmutation. That's what we're doing here. And that's the gene key that we are still within the solar field of right now. So we imagine ourselves, our most beautiful selves. We write it with a hand on paper and pen, feeling the strokes of our hand. And we feel into that version of ourselves that we're calling in, that we're calling forth from within. It's not out there somewhere. That person is already in you. That most innocent, beautiful, loving version of ourself is right here, waiting to come forth. So, the last ingredient in this magnificent liquid sunlight is, of course, vai. Mahalo vai. Aloha vai. Thank you, water. I love you, water. Thank you, water. I love you, water. Thank you, water. I love you, water. Oh. Yeah. You know, I don't prefer the, I need to grind my pepper down a little bit. I don't like the little chunks in here, but that, my friends, is a jar of liquid sunlight. Oh, it's so good. So delicious. It's perfect. And I really like to call it liquid sunlight because I genuinely believe that we're learning how to harness the light of the sun more directly. That we have the capacity in this human body to receive and harness and be nourished by the light of the sun. But it requires us to build a relationship with Kala, with the sun, with the being who is up there shining down. You can't get stuff from a thing in that way. That's not how it works. You have to build a relationship with this ancient illumination, this ancient intelligence, this grandfather of ours. None of us would be here if it weren't for Kala. He penetrates the earth with his seed, and she bears fruit, and he stands back there just giving, never asking for anything, right? Many of us are afraid of Kala. Oh no, I've got some sunspots on my face. But Kala is our source. If there was one representation of God, there's one representation of the source of all light and life and consciousness that we can look at. It's right there. That's the one. And I'm not saying that the sun is God, but I'm saying it's really valid. It's a really valid thing to look up and be like, wow, source. Wow. That's our best representation. No need some graven image. We have the full measure of it right there. So may you learn how to drink the sunlight. Maybe next time around in springtime, you'll join us for the master cleanse, and we'll have a blast every day, dancing in our bodies, crying, moving, making noise, allowing everything that needs to come out and be released, and embracing our greater yet to be.